Just getting to the spot, so we'll see what happens here. Looking very nice. Got a nice northeast wind, about 5 to 10. Oh yeah. Oh, let's go ahead and set up. I'm going to be using my double drop drum leaders for this.
Gotta bite, gotta bite. I think I got a lot of stress on my mind. It's a nice day to go. Yeah, I got a line. I'ma call up the whole team.
Alright guys, so my crab flavor, got bait elastic, well, I got no shrimp flavor. Didn't realize I didn't bring it. It must have fallen out of my bag. Well, I'll put crab flavor on both of them. Let's see what happens. I'll do one flavor and one color. And the way I hook them, as I'm using the power line, on crab, and when I'm doing both of them, it really doesn't matter. But what I do is right through there, and I work it back and forth. Once I get it through the hook, I push it to the back. Do the same with the other crab flavor. And push it to the back. Right there, leftovers of the bait elastic from the other night. Alright, there, just keep the shrimp in place, kind of like a jig head. I got some more fresh shrimp from the bait bucket, because right now we're currently out, so waiting for my guy to come through. When he does, then I'll be good to go again. Alright. Support businesses that support us. Still works the same, guys. So, like I said, Bait Bucket, The Causeway, Port A Outfitters, Deep Sea, or not Deep Sea, Port A Outfitters, Tackle Town, and Rockport as well are some of the businesses that support us. Also, the Stripe stores from Galveston to South Padre. You'll see our surf weights in there, and if they are, then you know it's one of the stores that support us as well. So I don't mind supporting stores that support us, because it keeps me having the ability to keep feeding my kids and paying my workers to keep them employed. So here we go. And then the bait elastic again. Yeah, all that's just extra flavor, you know what I mean? I just don't want the shell on there, because what the shell does is it blocks the bait elastic from gripping every single little piece I want. Also too, see how it's right there by the barb, or by the point? I don't want that. I want the point blocked. So I'm gonna make sure the point is exposed, both hooks, and I'm good to go there. I'm gonna have to do a light cast, because I did not bring any water. Came out here unprepared for this. Very last minute kind of deal. Definitely need to get some fish in here. So my buddy said that they were hitting on mullet. I'm gonna go ahead and try with fish bites and shrimp. See what happens till they get here, because they're bringing mullet. Alright guys, so like I said, I'm here waiting at the spot for my buddies to get here. I am also paying attention to y'all's comments on the channel of what y'all want to see and how y'all want to see it. You know, there's a lot of things that we do in our videos that a lot of people really don't truly understand what's going on. So if y'all guys are new to our channel, For us, it's showing you the real life fishing as what it is. I mean, yes, there's a lot of times that I cut out a lot of dead zones or times of waiting, and I used to put time lapse on the camera so that way y'all can see how much time went by between catches and so forth, because you're so used to seeing these guys that go out and they catch and they catch and they catch, but they never show you the truth, how long it takes to go between those catches. Or you see a guy, oh, check this out, I'm gonna hook up in 10 seconds. Well, it's because they've already been there and they know that the fish are biting as soon as you get down to them, and they can act like they, oh yeah, it's gonna happen. Well, yeah, of course, they already know it's gonna happen because they've been fishing there for a while and the fish are in a feeding frenzy. That can happen anywhere with anybody at any level of fishing because it happens. For me, yes, we can do that. I can sit there and cut out every dead zone, every mistake, every deal to make us look good, but that ain't real fishing, guys. That's not what we're about. We're about showing you everything as much as possible. Granted, you know, some of these trips are 6 hours, sometimes they're 72 hours, you know, of us out there fishing. So what I like to do is bring you along for the journey, and this is our best way of Teach a Man to Fish series, is to not to put you under any illusions that, oh, it's a grand scheme of going out and this is gonna always produce for you. No, guys, it is fishing at the end of the day. That's why it's called fishing, not catching. Now, there are days that we have gone out and yes, it is catching. Like, we went out there, as soon as we laid lines, the fish were everywhere. It didn't matter what you threw at them, you were gonna catch. And you can sit there and time your catches, and we have actually done that. We timed our catches between the bites by taking pictures of it and looking at the time scale of what kind of feeding frenzy they were doing and or what kind of circular pattern they were following and stuff like that. And so it's very important. A lot of the techniques we teach you guys is because it's real life. It is us out there on the front lines, wet lines, breaking off, tying leaders, crimping leaders, changing leaders, testing out new swivels, snap swivels, weights, you know, currents. It's everything, guys, real as it can be. And you know, like I said, right there you can see a kayak off to my left and off to my right. So when I'm casting in between them, just because I'm giving them enough space, because I've sat there and I've watched them to see how far they were throwing, and they're barely throwing about 20-30 feet away from their kayak and working live bait. So I was able to, I got several hundred yards to play with between them, and that's what I'm doing. decent little bumps, but we'll see. I'm gonna put 4 out. We'll see what happens. That ain't good. Rescue boat just went out, so prayers going out to them. Hopefully they are safe. I'll give you a little view of what the sun looks like going out right now. Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that. Yeah. Not too much of a film guy, but I think that looks pretty awesome with the rays behind the rods. Maybe we can see some action that way. Oh, there we go. Alright guys, so one of our biggest things is customers ask us, well, what type of weight should I be using? Do I need a surf weight? Do I need a heavier gauge surf weight? Because here at our shop we actually make 3 different styles of surf weights. Now, I have actually ran a shark bait and used a pyramid weight and it held. And then the current picked up a little bit, and then I went to a 1/16 gauge. And it got heavier, and I went to a 3/32, and then it was outrageous because we had a storm brewing, and I went to the 1/8 gauge. This is very important to recognize, guys, because what I do is I try to start off with the weight that's going to allow me to keep my bait in place like all these were until that fish started hitting my bait and slacking it up. So this allows the fish easier chance to picking up the bait and moving it, but also too it allows you to fish easier without wasting a lot of energy, because if you don't have to use a surf weight, I recommend you don't. You know what I mean? There's no reason, then don't use it. However, when you're fishing in an area and the current picks up and starts moving your weights, then that's the time you start adapting your fishing tackle to the fishing that's happening. Currents picking up, changing direction, wind picking up, changing direction. These are all things that when you're fishing along people or with other people or even by yourself, you know, as you can tell, I've got 4 lines here. I do not want them crossed up with each other once I cast them out. And as you can tell at the very beginning, before the second fish slacked up the other line, it is what keeps my bait in place and keeps me able to fish with multiple rods and not having to worry about getting all tangled up, guys. So it's very important to watch that. And you saw how that one, even though the line was real slack, as soon as he hit it, it took up all the slack, and which is good. That's another reason why I use the hollow core braid over mono, because with mono you probably would have gotten hit like that and you wouldn't even have seen anything on the fishing rod right there. Since there is zero stretch with the monofilament, or with the braid, sorry, there's zero stretch with the braid. As soon as something messes with it, you can see it on shore, which is a great thing right there. And what I was doing was I was looking for some gear in the truck at this moment when this was going on, so I didn't see that they were messing with my rods. But well, yeah, I'm telling you, there's definitely fish out here. But from the looks of it, most of them are bait fish. There's a few good hits in there when you see that big solid pool on it. And yes, sir, look at that. 3 slack up lines that quickly. And again, guys, I was setting up the truck and doing some things in there. And since I didn't have to hear a clicker go off, these fish weren't big enough for it. But man, that one definitely took up all the slack and was running with it. But I missed it. course, little bait. We've got a nice little pin perch. Using that for bait. If y'all are new to the channel, this is one of the things that I try to do, is keep the channel as real as possible by showing what we catch, what we don't catch, when we break off. I mean, it's real fishing, guys. We really do put forth the effort of testing tackle, casting, recasting, checking baits, changing baits, and you know, sometimes the fish just don't cooperate. However, you can see that I will keep changing up the game until I figure out what they are hitting on that day. Because, you know, from when I stated at the very beginning of the video, they were hitting on mullet the night before. Well, right now I don't have any mullet, but I'm using shrimp and fish bites, and I'm getting pretty consistent hits and stuff messing with my gear. But I haven't landed one yet, so once I do, then I'll figure out what they're hitting on and go from there. But we will see what's gonna happen with this night, because it is pretty cool. Still waiting on my buddies to get here and stuff like that, so other fishermen are starting to show up, because it looks like the nighttime deal is about to pop off, which is good. Sometimes you got to get to a location and be able to be ready for when the fish start to hit. Fitchy. Wow. Alright guys, so I've got two fishermen to my right. There's another crew of fishermen that are moving out to the flats even further down to the right. There's some guys to my left that are nearer to the bridge and stuff like that, and then guys that are actually fishing under the bridge. So far everybody's putting forth a lot of effort to see what the fish are hitting on. I know some guys are using live shrimp. The guys to my right are using live shrimp, and we're gonna see what happens. The night is falling and it's looking mighty nice. Got a good breeze coming in, which is great. I really don't like fishing nights where there is zero wind, because when it happens like that, normally we don't catch any fish. So wind is important, guys, for us here. Again, this is We're in Corpus Christi, Texas, guys. We have Hard Lives Bait and Tackle as our tackle shop, and this is what we do. We get out here, we test our tackle and put it up there, and we'll see how it goes with putting fish on deck. That's for sure. I mean, that way when our customers come into the shop and they ask us, hey, what leaders are working and stuff like that, we are able to give them a positive review or knowledge into what is actually catching. Even here on the channel, we encourage our customers and subscribers to ask their questions without worrying about being trolling. That's probably why we haven't grown very fast in the channel, but I don't mind it because we got a huge, strong following for the amount of subscribers we got. Remember, we got a 25,000 subscriber mark giveaway coming.